5 spoilers. We are in the quote-unquote epilogue of My Hero Academia right now, meaning that this is like the final arc. Like the next couple chapters will just be concluding the series. Now that the final war and the battle and everything's over, Shigaraki, All For One, they're dead. Don't know about the other League of Villain members, but we'll talk about them. And we're going back to the academia stuff here, because most of this chapter is academia stuff. Some students graduating, some students moving on up to the next year, and we're getting a new student joining Class 1A, which I guess is now Class 2A. Yeah, they're now second years officially, and I'll just say right now, it's Shinso. Shinso has finally joined Class A. I can't say 1A anymore because now they're 2A, but he's joined Class 2A, which, you know, was built up since the end of the joint training arc, and, you know, we more or less kind of knew it was going to happen once he helped everybody in the final war. But now it's official. He is a part of Class 2A, where he should have always been. But let's get into it. So, chapter starts with Tamaki and Nejiri receiving their diplomas. Several male students are crying because they're sad that Nejiri is graduating. President Mike is DJing and says that since they don't have cherry blossoms, he's going to liven up the graduation ceremony. Kirishima says it feels more like a festival than graduation, and the narration reveals it's already June. Tamaki asks Nejiri if her injuries have healed, and she says that it's all thanks to Mirio, since he kept taking care of them in the flying UA after they were defeated. The narration then begins to describe everything Nezu has done in this reconstruction project. He's a well-known figure worldwide and was already negotiating with other companies, preparing to deal with the consequences of war. Yeah, Class 3, they're
That's good.
graduating. We talked about this in the previous review for 424, and it's that UA only has like 3 years. It doesn't have 4 years for some reason. Maybe that's like a Japanese thing. But the big 3 are graduating now, and seemingly going to go on to become pro heroes, which is fine. We're getting, you know, the full completion of their character storylines, mostly, I guess, their character arcs. I guess Nejiri's having something of that. Nejiri, never really too big on her personally, but Horikoshi seems to really like her for some reason, even though she doesn't really have much depth to her, to be honest. Obviously, there's more character to Tamaki and Mirio, but Mirio, man, in my opinion, he had quite the character assassination in the final war. I don't know how many people agree with me on that, but I think he has somewhat of a nice send-off in this chapter, I guess. As for Nezu, pretty hilarious that he's like known worldwide and he was able to get help with negotiating with other countries and everything. That's fine. Mike thanks Mawata Fuwa for the student's speech and calls the graduate's representative Mirio Togata. Mirio takes the stage and makes a very formal introduction, which surprises all the students who were expecting a joke. Like I said, character assassination here. Mirio's just the jokester guy now. And as for Mawata Fuwa, she's just a random student who was more prominent in the anime than the manga. I'll go more into her in my full review, I guess, if anybody really cares. She does have some kind of an interesting story to her, but it's more like if you're really paying attention, are you more aware of this character? Mirio says that they lost many things and gained nothing. The heroes are always trying to turn negatives into zero. And the students from all the departments used everything they learned at UA to help in the war, but they still haven't managed to go back to square zero. They've studied for 3 years to prepare for what comes next, and the finish line isn't today. There won't be a bright future without humor, so their goal is to create a world of positives, not zeros, in which everyone can smile. Just watch Sir Night-Eye. So yeah, that was Mirio's whole thing, you know, his conclusion with Sir Night-Eye, where apparently on Night-Eye's deathbed he saw Mirio flashing Shigaraki, you know, showing him his butt in that sequence, which I think really killed off any hype or quote-unquote coolness that Mirio had. He's still a cool character, of course, but man, his stocks really dropped off. It seems like such a waste that Eri used whatever rewindness she had left to bring back his quirk when she could have just did it on somebody way more deserving, but that's just me. Mirio then activates his quirk, and the Kenranzaki Bimmy Giant Eyelashes car crashes into the stage. All the students laugh, and Mirio says goodbye to the second and third years. Cut to the 2A temporary classroom, and we see that Aizawa is their teacher. Alright, so like I said, we're moving on up to class 2A now. They are second years officially, and Aizawa is their teacher again. I thought he was supposed to be the first year's teacher, but I guess they're allowing him to move up because why not? I guess they can pretty much do whatever they want at this point.
I can't believe he's still
Ashido is
teaching.
very
It's
happy
crazy.
that they're having classes with Aizawa again. Sero asks Bakugo if he shouldn't be in the hospital, and he says that the doctor allowed it as long as he keeps quiet. Aizawa asks Aoyama to enter the classroom, and he announces that he's leaving UA. Jiro asks if he hasn't changed his mind, and Aoyama says that even Suguchi said that he could stay, but he feels that leaving is the right thing to do. Since he joined UA at All for One's request, he feels that he had no right to go to the third year's graduation ceremony. So as an atonement, he's going to walk the path of heroism from scratch. After all, he held the hand that Deku reached to him. Aoyama then starts to cry while smiling as he offers Deku a cheese. Aoyama tells Aizawa that one day he will stand side by side with his friends. So I like this, actually. I mean, it's better than nothing, and this is actually happening right now in the anime, like the reveal that Aoyama was the traitor. By the way, I'm doing live reactions to all of Season 7, so if you're interested in that, check out my videos that come out Sunday, and subscribe if you haven't already for that. But I think it's good that Aoyama's stepping away, because he should. He's a friggin' traitor. And I know all of the logistics behind it, but still,
I'm gonna miss that guy.
Traitor, he's lucky he's not in jail.
I guess he's doing it for his own sake.
Students are moved by his attitude, and to stop them from crying, Aoyama starts shooting lasers in all directions and reveals a surprise. Shinso is going to be joining Class 2A. The students are so excited that Aoyama even feels left out and fires the lasers again. So yeah, we were talking about this. Shinso is joining 2A, replacing Aoyama, as he should. And man, it's just a shame that this is the end, because it would have been so cool to go into another whole, part of this series, like Chainsaw Man style almost. Like maybe this was like a whole other part, the way that it's like part 1 and part 2 in that series. Even though we're not, but I would have loved to have had another part where Shinso is a part of the class. And, like I also talked about before, doing a whole nother sports festival, because that's needed. Maybe I'll make a what if video chronicling like what I think could happen or what should happen. Do you guys like what if videos? I mean, they're pretty popular on YouTube, right? Aoyama's lasers make Hagakure visible, and Mineta is shocked. He's about to say there was a goddess among us this entire time, but Aizawa chokes him with his capture weapon, and Mawata Fuwa then arrives in the classroom to update the second years on what they'll do right now. Okay, so Hagakure being revealed to the whole class here, and yes, she is wearing her uniform. She's clothed. The second and third years will be going around the country to keep it safer and help with the reconstruction under the leadership of Fuwa. History books will talk about the period after All Might's retirement and after the final battle of Jakku, but much of this chaos will not be documented. Shoto says that it was during the chaotic period like this that All for One was born, and Fuwa says goodbye and that she envies 2A for not having gone through Aizawa's expulsion prank. That was scary, but it was also what made her understand why she wanted to become a hero. So yeah, going more into Fuwa's backstory here, which maybe we knew about from the volume or something. Fuwa leaves and Deku still looks pensive. After school, the students say they're excited about the new first years arriving tomorrow, and Deku goes to talk to Uraraka, but she interrupts, saying that he had to shave his hair because of surgery, and she hopes it grows back. Okay, so that's why we have Izuku's new hair. It's from surgery. And also we're getting new Class 1A students, new first years. That's exciting. Sato compliments Tokoyami's new look because now his hair is all frizzy. Tokoyami says it wasn't intentional, but he likes it too, and we see a panel of Uraraka smiling while Deku still looks sad. Cut to a mysterious, panting man walking through the destroyed streets. This isn't a character we know. He has black hair and is dressed very much like Kurogiri after he was arrested. He is crying while touching a destroyed wall, and we see a panel of a destroyed house, but no further further information this chapter. So this is pretty exciting. New character here, possible villain. Kind of looks like Obanai from Demon Slayer. I'll go more into what this guy could represent in my full review, which should be out maybe tomorrow. Subscribe for that. Deku asks Shoto if he's going to Aoyama's farewell party, and he says yes, as long as it's not today. Deku looks worried, but Shoto says he'll be okay. He takes a step in the opposite direction. We see Endeavor in a wheelchair facing some kind of giant device. Chapter ends. So, yeah, seeing Endeavor, he's in a wheelchair. Pretty sure he's recovering, unless he's just not able to exist outside of that wheelchair, if that makes sense. And the device that he's standing in front of, not sure. Have to talk more
he's
about
still
this
alive.
review, but maybe this will go more into if Dabi is alive or dead, possibly, because we still don't know the fate of him or Toga, as far as I know. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. We're going on a 2-week break. So yeah, next.
Wow. Well, I'm actually happy they get to live their lives once again in their second year. So after the next year, they'll be graduating. So even though they get like 3 years, not 4, so like they said in the chapter, but still, they're actually, doing all right. Naturally, the other pro heroes are graduating, and some of the class 2A members, Deku and the rest of the gang, are second year. So I'm pretty happy for them. This chapter is a pretty, a hero's welcome, story chapter. It's amazing. I'm really happy for these students. They get to relax and settle and move on with their lives. So it's great. I love it. But some new students are coming along that I never seen before. And not only that, new Class 1A members are coming along as well in UA. And it's quite interesting to hear. It's crazy. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. If you did enjoy today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe while you're at it. Alright, later.